Hello everybody, I am the Black Sigma, or you could just call me Eric, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, and Lotta Hart. I had a question for you. But it seems I don't physically have that question as a dialogue option. Never mind then. Unless... yeah, Old Bag isn't gonna tell me more about it. Wait. Oh. Wait, the whole thing in question was that Engarde was pushing his manager onto Juan. So maybe if I present Lotta with her... You know anything? Nope. I don't believe you. What about Old Bag? This old granny? Yeah, she kept on glaring at me with those eyes of hers, as if it's my fault. Kept babbling about how she won't forgive people who write trash about her Juan. Yeah, we sorta got into a little fight, you know? A little fight. Knowing those two, it was probably more of a blabbering contest. But do you want to tell me more? Please? Okay, maybe if I present Old Bag with Lotta. This is going swimmingly for a start to an episode. And you won't tell us. Guess I could go talk to Gumshoe, but he might not be free yet. Doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Great, now even Pearls is calling him Scruffy. Thanks, Francisca. They said something about an investigation briefing earlier, right? Why don't we come back and try again later when they're done? Great, thanks. Oh. Of course, I should talk to my defendant. Oh, the lawyer dude. So, what did you find out? Well, I'm still in the middle of investigating. I see. But I've already told you everything I know, dude. Well, about that, can you tell us about your manager? That's my manager. Did you meet her? Yeah. What do you think? Strong woman, right? And she takes good care of me. You're such a mama's boy. Nothing. Wendy Old Bag, you don't know. Can you tell us anything about Juan? Look, dude, I didn't kill him. I mean, the Nickel Samurai kicked the Jammin' Ninja's butt, right? So it's not like I felt threatened by the likes of him. Being rivals sounds like a sad way to relate to another person. Sure is, Pearl. I guess we can ask about your activities last night. He got the reward, went to his break room for the post-stage show, was alone in there because his manager was running around. Strange. This is the same dialogue, isn't it? Yeah. It's all the same. Unless... what can you tell us about this conference? Dude, like I told you, I don't know anything about that press conference. I'd leave that stuff to my manager. Okay. Lotta's missing camera. Nothing. The guitar case. Nothing. Tomato juice. Nothing. Photo of Juan's murder. Nothing. Okay. Presenting Lotta's own camera to her. Nothing new. The post-ceremony press conference. How come I ain't got myself one of them? Don't direct your anger at me. Why in tarnations wasn't I invited to that? How come someone on the bottom of the popularity chart like you got the info, but not me? Info like that is worth nothing to you. Am I right or what? Is that the kind of person she thinks I am? Are you going to stand there and take that, Mr. Nick? I guess so, if it doesn't unlock a new dialogue option for me. So, Adrian, apparently you were involved in Juan's life somehow. Did you know him? Yes, I knew him. The world is such a small place after all. Did you know about his rivalry with the Nickel Samurai? Honestly, they were like children when it came to that. Time and time again, those two competed with each other over the most trivial things. If either one of them wasn't so stubborn, then maybe no one would have needed to die. Needed to die? I've got a hunch that this woman knows more than she's letting on. She must know why Juan Corrida was killed. Do you have any ideas as to why Mr. Corrida was murdered? Why would you ask me about such a thing? Just doing my job. So, do you have any ideas? Do you also have an idea as to why my tie can never stay straight? Oh, she has some ideas. Ms. Andrews? Sorry, but there's nothing more I have to add to this conversation. Is it a cyclock, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's getting to be more and more of these lately. But do I have proof that she would know the motive? As for Lotta, I don't have evidence about what her big scoop is, do I?
Take that!
She only has 2 locks, so surely she has to be the first to break, right? Told you, didn't I? I was there for my big scoop. What are the details? Not something I can tell you. I mean, there's my bread and butter. Alright then, an unpleasant tabloid photographer looking for a scoop. I'm going to say that you are looking into a scandal. Grr. Could it be that you, Lotta Hart, were looking for a break with a huge story? Perhaps an unfolding scandal between Juan Corrida and this person.
Take that!
This woman? She's Adrian Andrews, Matt Engarde's manager. The Nickel Samurai's manager, caught secretly meeting with his rival, the Jammin' Ninja, would be the hottest story of the season, wouldn't it? You're pretty good at this guessing thing, Mr. Lawyer. But you can't just make up any old thing and think it'll make the papers. You gotta have backup. Backup? Yeah, you gotta have that, what's it? News sauce? You mean news source? That's it! Show me something that shows that Juan guy had something with Miss Andrews. I don't have that. I don't think so. Actually, maybe I do have something here. Or rather, Lotta would have had something. I've got an idea, but I don't know if it's correct. A scandal between Juan and Adrian. Now, she has to have backup. And I think that that's what you were trying to get a photo of. And that's not how that works. She needed a source for her information. But where would I find something like that? Powers, you don't know anything about that, do you? Hey, that's Ms. Andrews. She's Matt's manager. Actually, I was interested in her for a little bit. Just a little. So Mr. Powers likes this type of woman. What do you know about Ms. Andrews? Well, see, here's the thing. I don't really know her, you know? There's sort of a small rumor going around about her right now. A rumor? If you're interested, I'll be glad to share what I know. Thank you. So, would you mind telling me about this gossip? And more specifically, do you have some evidence I can back it up with? So you are interested in it. I figured you would be. Yeah. I have such a weakness for celebrity gossip too. Oh, really? You too, huh? Yeah, so take a look at this. Looks like a tabloid Ms. Oldbag would read. Alright, let's see here. Jammin' Midnight Rendezvous. To the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Ms. A.A. You see it now, don't you? What? You can stop pretending to be in the dark, Mr. Right. Juan Corrida didn't have a manager of his own, which means if we're talking about a certain manager with the initials Ace Attorney, AA, it's Adrian Andrews. Yes, exactly. This is big news. Seems kind of odd. That woman, Ms. Andrews, together with the biggest rival of her client. It's that wonderful thing that can only happen between two people. Well, monogamy is kind of outdated, but if you insist. Mr. Powers looks so happy. Pearls is just following along, not having any idea as to why she's smiling. Well, like the saying goes, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. Thank you, Mr. Powers. I'm glad I have an insider to this business. Now, Lotta. I think I have just the evidence you're looking for. So, Lotta. First and foremost, we already established that you were looking into a scandal between Juan and Adrian Andrews. And your source for this claim is none other than that tabloid. This is the article from a certain weekly tabloid, Jammin' Midnight Rendezvous, to the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Ms. A.A. Mr. Corrida didn't have a manager of his own. What's more, his rival, Mr. Engarde's manager, Adrian Andrews, she has the initials AA. You saw this article and then thought to take some pictures of them as proof. That's why you were lurking around Mr. Corrida's door last night. Wah! The sweet sound of broken locks and faith in me restored. Now, you were looking into Mr. Corrida and Ms. Andrews' affair, weren't you? You got it! I was gonna get myself a scoop by catching him in the secret meeting. There's already an article about it in one of the weekly tabloid magazines. It's no longer breaking news. What'd you just say? Her initials are AA. What kind of vague thing is that? That ain't no proof of nothing. People are gonna wanna see real proof. Well, at least I do. So that's what I was doing, getting photos. Oh. I'm gonna whip up the reader's interest with some gossip and a little misleading. Then spice it up a little and have myself an exclusive story. Well, Lotta, nice journalistic integrity you got there. I already finished writing up my spicy article, you know, but the paper I wrote it on, my note to myself, it's gone. Your note to yourself? It was inside the case of my camera. Someone stole the only evidence you would have, and what you were planning on doing with it. Either someone else is planning on leaking this information to the public, or is planning on keeping it secret. I have a funny feeling I know where your camera went, Lotta. They done run off together. I came here for my big story, didn't come up here to have my treasure disappear on me. Yeah, I understand. It's enough to make a gal go bonkers, I tell ya. What's with people now anyways? I thought I'd never see the day when someone done steal something from me. You really want that note back, huh? Got no idea why though. The story on that note is probably a bold-faced lie. Interesting. Very interesting. So, Ms. Andrews. You know anything about this? There was a note in this case referring to you. No? Okay then. I'll be back. Oh, duh, why am I... Okay, maybe it's not about the note referring to you. How about this article? And she doesn't care. Okay. Well, maybe now that I've got Lotta to open up, Gumshoe will have something for me. Maybe? Green text is a good sign. But... yeah! Oh, he's back! Hey, so you came, pal. Why the blunt greeting? Because there's nothing to be friendly or happy about. What do you mean by that? Well, things look perfect this time around. The evidence and the testimony are airtight. But we can't just roll over and die. We have to stay positive. Besides, Maya's life is on the line. So, what do you mean that the evidence is airtight? Can't give you all the details, pal, but there's two big pieces. Two? Both of them are in this photo. The first is the button that's missing from the victim's chest. That's the button you found during your body search of Engarde, apparently stuck in the pleats of his pants. Yep. And the second? The knife in his chest, pal. Fingerprints on the knife. Fingerprints? Whose are they? You didn't even have to ask, little missy. It's obvious. They're Matt Engarde's. Tomorrow's trial. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. What about the testimony, Detective? It's that old security lady, Ms. Oldbag. Thought so. What do you mean, you thought so? Did she tell you something, pal? kinda. And even I told her not to open that mouth of hers and blab to anyone. Her blab knob is stuck on 10 and there's no turning it down. Trust me. Yeah, well, Ms. Oldbag saw it all, pal. She saw Mr. Engarde come out of the victim's room around the estimated time of death. No way! No way indeed. Engarde said he was in his own room the entire time. Either he's lying about that, or... well... could be the classic case of someone was seen wearing someone else's clothes. But, Detective, have you seen my badge? Okay. Not important. What do you know about this article? We're pretty interested in this bit of gossip ourselves. Scandal with Mr. Corrida? Why? Well, 2 years ago, a woman committed suicide. Suicide? Her name was Celeste Inpax. And she was Juan Corrida's manager. The victim's manager? But that's not all, pal. Ms. Inpax was Ms. Adrian Andrews' mentor. She taught Ms. Andrews everything she knew about the business from square one. Her mentor? Woman who was both Mr. Corrida's manager and Ms. Andrews' mentor? Could her suicide have something to do with this case? Do you want to know more about her, pal? Absolutely, Gumshoe. She was the victim's manager and was also Ms. Adrian Andrews' mentor. It's been 2 years since her suicide, and now those two are linked again by another death. Or maybe it's just a coincidence, but I heard that. I'm sick of dealing with one foolish idiot after another.
Ms. Von Karma!
You can't seem to stop allying yourself with the enemy, can you? I don't need a traitor in my midst.
You don't mean...
I do. Scruffy. You have 30 minutes to get out of here. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. That's...
Wait, please, wait, sir. If I don't get this month's pay, I'll...
Quiet. If it weren't for traitors like you...
Who?
I can imagine Phoenix saying that, but it wouldn't be question marked. If it weren't for traitors like you, I would have won. Who would know her well enough to interrupt with? I have an idea on who might be saying this. And if it's true, Phoenix is not gonna be happy. I would have won. Is that what you want to say? Who? That voice. Edgeworth? It's been a long time, right? This person... This is Mr. Edgeworth? What am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong. You haven't changed a bit, Francisca. You? How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name, dragged it through the mud. You even ran away with your tail between your legs like the ill-bred dog you are. Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way? Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you are having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country.
You?
You seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back.
Keep your assumptions to yourself. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I will see you tomorrow in court. It will be a clinical lesson of the meaning of total victory.
Still the same wild mare she always was. Edgeworth? So many things I want to say to you right now. I should be happy you're back. I should be happy that you're not dead. But the fact is, you left for 1 year without so much as a goodbye. No phone calls, no texts, no final goodbyes at an airport. You just up and left with a absurdly dramatically worded note for someone who's still fucking alive. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. It reads like a suicide note, Miles. And you thought that we'd just be okay with this? You let everyone think that you were dead. For a year. After everything that I did to help you. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died. Mr. Nick, I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. I thought you'd be happy to see me back. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? I have something definitive that you lack, and working together is the definition of teamwork. The power to find the truth. The truth. I helped you regain that conviction, didn't I? And how did you repay me for that again? In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? Does he have no idea what he has done to me? To everyone? A lot of things may have happened. However, Manfred von Karma was still my mentor, and a perfect win record is proof of a von Karma. 1 year ago. You could not establish guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Edgeworth, did you leave because of me? Because you had lost your perfect win record? to think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It had been... Why is this line typoed? This is an important line. I'll fix it. It would have been better for everyone if you had never come back from the dead, Edgeworth. I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Well, with Francisca, she almost always says, "I will defeat you this time," the instant she sees me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client. To save their lives. To save your client, you say? Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals. Those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy, like her, or someone like you, Edgeworth. It looks like there is still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. Maybe there's some evidence I can present to get some more useful information about him, or from him, but... Miles! My emotions are already running pretty high as it is. I can't tell you why, but stacking your sudden waltzing back into my life on top of it really isn't good for me. So I'm just gonna leave. I don't care where. I'm just going. Okay? I'll continue this in the next episode. Bye.